Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Geek Fruit with fellow and television geeks Tejas, Jishnu and Dinkar as they discuss the world of science fiction and nerd culture.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello and welcome everyone. It's a new day, a new week, and this is the TFG Indian Football Podcast. Now joining me in the studio, as usual, Kevin, and Chiranjeet is joining us via Skype. Now, a lot of things, good news that are emerging from Manipur. You know, all the fans, football fans over there should rejoice because, hey, what happened was, this is already done and they already had the title in their hand, but we all wanted to see how would the last match end up, because will they be an unbeaten team that lifts the second division I-League trophy? And that's what happened, because the last match that they played against Southern Samiti, they defeated them 4-1. Talking about NEROCA FC. What a great win this is, and it's a great fairy tale to if you put the whole Northeast together. I mean, I-League was won by, the top division was won by Aizawl, and then this club from Manipur. So it's really a rejoicing moment for all the Indian football fans out there. And also, I mean, everyone in general. Now we'll talk about it. Of course, we'll talk about it, delve into it. And we also have an interview coming up in the later part of the show. He's also a man behind, probably you can say the head behind the growth of football in Mizoram. Now, Chiranjeet is nice also, you know what he's getting us from there. But before that, of course, how will our show start or end without talking about East Bengal and Mohun Bagan? Now, Chiranjeet, I think you have something to say, and probably in response to what Nikhil and Kevin had a show on before the weekend. But before that, give us some updates. What are the current situation for both the clubs?
Yeah, well, the entire drama is still unfolding. And before I get back to what happened on Friday, the one day I'm not there in a live recording, and these guys just bashed ABMB one-sided. But what is happening now is that East Bengal Mohun Bagan are threatening not even to go into that 7th June meeting, and there's a reason behind that. Even Praful Patel is not going to be there. Okay, so Praful Patel and apparently called for this meeting on 7th June, where apparently everything is going to be discussed and decided, but Praful Patel won't be there. So and this East Bengal and Mohun Bagan are doing this. I don't know why. It may be tactical. They're playing this dirty game with IMG-Reliance. They don't want to talk directly with IMG-Reliance. They want to talk to AIFF, because they're saying, what is IMG-Reliance? AIFF is supposed to be running Indian football, so we're going to talk to AIFF about.
But it's not the case right now, so they should understand about it, right? Even
it's not. But either they're being very, very naive and passive aggressive, or they're just trying to expose the fact that AIFF is nothing.
It's anyway, everyone knows about it.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, it should be obvious to everybody, but the bureaucracy of the whole system is still holding on. I mean, the appearance of order is still there, and they're attacking that right now. I don't really like the way they're going about this, but it may be, the last play that they can make, the officials, in order to get into ISL and still hold on to the power they have in the clubs. If they just go with what IMG-Reliance say, they lose the power in the club to sponsors and to some extent IMG-Reliance. So two things might happen. There may be new sets of rules if ISL becomes the top division.
Yeah.
Right? And then they might issue new bid documents. And I think Kushal Das was talking to Ananda Bajar Patrika, and he said there might be a special bid submission window for the existing top division clubs. So it's everything up in the air. It may still happen. It may not happen. It may just happen that ISL may proceed with Bengaluru FC and Tata with an AFC Cup slot. Although I don't really see how they can still do it. I mean, AFC would have to embarrass themselves if they give ISL despite it not being a cup tournament, they just give it an AFC Cup slot, and they let I-League stay the top division. it's so confusing right now. It will stay confusing till 7 June, and maybe even 7 June won't see everything solved if East Bengal and Mohun Bagan don't go to that meeting. But I think they want to go to that meeting. They just what they have said is that the letter they released, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan released that letter that hey, this is what happened when we talked, and that letter had a point that after Teto Windsor speaks to Praful Patel, the details of that conversation will be made known to the clubs, right? And East Bengal and Mohun Bagan was saying, hey, I thought the roadmap would be declared and everything that was discussed would be told to us, but Praful Patel did not do any of that. He just said, hey, let's meet on 7th June. So that's part of the reason why FPAI is going out and telling players don't sign for any team, because we don't know what was discussed and what was decided. Part of the people, media is contemplating that probably Praful Patel has set up that meeting so that the ISL being given an AFC Cup slot, the announcement comes from the AFC people and not him. That's why he doesn't want to be there also. Okay. That way he can just completely be out of any responsibility of what comes out of that meeting. He will just say, I was not there. But it just shows what kind of dirty game AIFF is playing with this as well. That how can a meeting that is supposed to decide the roadmap of Indian football and the AIFF president is not even there? So it's everybody's playing dirty. East Bengal and Mohun Bagan are playing dirty. IMG-Reliance have been playing dirty for the last 6-7 years. And AIFF is also trying to just avoid blame in all of this. So that's what's happening. It's a complete cluster screw right now. Yeah.
I mean, it's just a total mess. I mean, at one end when you're rejoicing Indian football, at the other end you're just holding, shaking your head.
That's what is the beautiful thing. Everything, all the plans that they are making is being undone by what's happening on the pitch.
Yeah.
We would not be having this trouble.
If everything would be. Won,
if Aizawl had not won that league, they would have just relegated everybody else other than East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, Bengaluru FC. A solution would have been worked out already.
Yeah.
It's because Aizawl FC won that East Bengal and Mohun Bagan tried to push that point, because they thought, okay, maybe Aizawl FC has a chance to get a better deal. Maybe we can cash in on that as well. So, yeah.
Now NEROCA also joins the party.
Yeah. and what if Aizawl and NEROCA both sue, because NEROCA now have now they should be playing in the top division next season.
Yeah.
And if ISL is made the top division and NEROCA are not there, they have a right to sue as well. I think there is a club called Hindustan something from Delhi that already has sued AIFF.
Okay.
And what if East Bengal and Mohun Bagan and Aizawl FC and NEROCA join that? Then it becomes a new deal altogether.
I think in the past also there have been movements, or at least legal fights put up by clubs or at least entities against AIFF. But we've seen it's all too powerless in front of AIFF. The last incident that I remember was about the voting procedure for the elections of the AIFF. There was, I think, a PIL that was launched saying that the procedure totally violates the rules and regulations of, how a person is voted to a particular committee or the highest positions in the AIFF. So it just did not follow what was to be done, and we thought that there was some chance that AIFF will be pushed down by the legal authorities, but it wasn't the case, because they're all too powerful to be pressed down by anybody.
Yeah, they are, but this is something else altogether, because NEROCA have political connections. Aizawl, East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, all are coming with huge political backing. Everything is happening right now that the East Bengal and Mohun Bagan are daring to do all this defiance because the chief minister is backing them right now. We don't know how long she will back them, but at the moment she's pushing them on. Right, and that's why they are just showing all this what do you call fearlessness of what might happen. Same thing with the NEROCA. They have backing, ISL have backing, and it has never been this obvious, this blatantly obvious. The voting procedures, you can show one rule, another rule, and get out of it. But depriving so many football clubs and just completely changing the rule of the game on them is a very public matter, and that would have a much larger implication if there is a legal suit filed. But again, they cannot do anything right now. AIFF has to come out and say that ISL is the top division and all of you are forcefully relegated for anything to be done on that front. That's why ISL FC is sitting tight. That's why Robert Royte went and met Vijay Goyal and did not say anything publicly about it. So everything is happening behind the scenes right now. It's all a matter of maneuvering.
Yep.
But one thing that might come out of this is that East Bengal and Mohun Bagan offered two parts of solution. Okay. You remember the meeting they held with Utpal Ganguly and where they were making all these threats and everybody was and that drove a lot of people nuts because the rhetoric was very high and dramatic. But one thing they said that particularly stood out to me was that they said we want full or part of our revenue share from the central pool. So that sentence is very significant. They're saying part. Full or part. So maybe East Bengal and Mohun Bagan are saying, hey, you'd lessen our franchisee fee. In return of that, you can have a part of our revenue share. We will not take full.
That may be don't pay money and you still expect to be paid. This royalty is being asked. You don't want to invest.
Yeah, they're saying we will give up a part of that royalty.
Give up as if somebody is doing a favor, because it's just a simple thing.
It's a fair exchange, right?
Why,
Kevin? It's a fair exchange.
How?
If they don't pay the franchisee fee, on what
grounds is the discount being asked? Why?
Yeah, they're saying we will give up a part of our revenue pool, so the IMG-Reliance can get back the money anyway. Instead of them paying upfront, they get it after the season. Whatever central pool money is there, a few crores is supposed to go to East Bengal and Mohun Bagan. They're saying you can keep a part of that. So that's a possible way of negotiation that they're trying. IMG-Reliance will not be that happy with that because sometimes that central revenue pool money doesn't even get to franchises. And that is something they do right now. The ISL franchises put up with it because they have no existence outside ISL. They have to do everything, and that's not the case with East Bengal and Mohun Bagan. So they're trying to bargain. They know ISL needs them for that top division sanction, and they're trying to get a deal out of them. And look, you guys were criticizing them for playing dirty. They're just playing dirty back. Okay, just ISL telling them to give up, the officials to give up control over the club to play in ISL, or moving out of Kolkata to play in ISL. That is very dirty in itself. Okay, it's not something that happens in a fair system. And IMG-Reliance went ahead and did that as well. So they're fighting back in the only way they can. They don't have big money to appease IMG-Reliance or fight IMG-Reliance. They can fight back with either popular appeal or political connection, and they're trying to do both of that. It's not. I agree, it's a dirty fight, but it's dirty on both sides, and if you don't recognize that, you're missing the point.
Well, let's keep the dirty talks aside and let's talk about what's happening beautiful on the pitch. Now, coming back to NEROCA FC, we have to talk about this team. I'm just looking up at the stats, and they finished with 26 points on top of the table, okay, from 10 matches, which has 8 wins and 2 draws. That's why there are not a single loss. That was a clear-cut domination because the second place team, Southern Samiti, are 9 points behind them. So you can really expect everything went right for this team, and they just clinched clinched the title on a great note. Now, Chiranjeet, let's spend some time talking about this team. What does it mean for the people in Manipur and this team especially? We also see a lot of players who have emerged from Manipur are so happy about it. I mean, Renedy Singh, who's come out and said that this is a huge achievement. So what do you have to say about as an Indian football fan looking at this team?
Yeah, well, see, the president of the club, Dr. Thangjam Dabali, he's a very successful politician and business person from Manipur. And him and a group of other people, came together a couple of years back, and they sort of were inspired by what Shillong Lajong were doing, what ISL FC were doing. They were making themselves, their presence felt in the top division, and they wanted Manipur football to follow the same path. They wanted the Manipur Premier League to grow. They wanted a club to be out there in the top division, and they made a long-term plan. Okay, and so when they went about doing signings in the summer, you could already tell that they were planning for top division, because look at the signings they made. They signed Lalit Thapa, goalkeeper. They signed Subhash Singh.
Yeah.
We have seen him so many times playing for so many top division and ISL teams.
Yeah.
Arata Izumi was signed by them. Sushil Kumar Singh, Pritam Singh. A lot of the Manipur state team players who were there when they won the Mizoram Premier League, they were there. Felix Chidi was a really good signing as well. The Nigerian forward, two Nigerian strikers they signed. So basically, the couple of things that the past few seasons have made us realize, especially through Shillong Lajong and ISL FC, is that there's not that much of a difference in quality between second division and I-League. Okay, if young players who have talent, who come up in the who play in the second division, come up in the top division, they won't do that bad. They will give a fight.
Yeah.
Right. And if you just add a little bit of experience to them, who have seen whatever the level of football is at the top tier, you have a really killer team, really good killer combination that can take you all the way. ISL FC did that.
Yeah.
And same thing NEROCA did. They made a couple of good signings, and suddenly they're here. They were unstoppable. They dominated every game, and just their closest competitor, beating Southern Samiti 4-1, even after winning the league, just to put on a hell of a show to show that, hey, we have arrived and we are gonna take the top division by storm. That was it. It was just a show of intent, and I don't really think they will be seen as a weak side when they play in I-League, if I-League happens next season.
Yeah, that's a question mark. Now, Kevin, when you're looking at all of this that's happening off the field, the hustle bustle, but there is a team that has emerged and is demanding attention because they've rightfully deserved it. Winning a league without a loss is not a small thing. It's a very big deal, and just like Chiranjeet pointed out, they went ahead for it because they were determined from the start. They made few good signings, and there you go. You have the title in the bag. What do you have to say?
No, I was just recollecting Izumi's career. He was at a stage where he was not the first choice in Mumbai FC, and he decided to get to the second division. Now, what happens? Mumbai FC to NEROCA. NEROCA climbs up, and Mumbai FC go down. Yeah. What a decision, and what a decision that was. It's not fame. It's not. You say, when you understand your development as a career, as a player, and you know what needs to be done, you take decisions, and it's a good plan.
Yeah.
Where you get to play, where you are required, and where you are given a chance to feature yourself. That is all a player needs. If he's in his late, if he's just a teenager, or he's just moving to the prime of his career, it's the game time that is required. And that was the decision that that's went right for him. And I suppose even Sushil Kumar was part of Mumbai FC, right? Is that correct, Chiranjeet?
He played at Mumbai FC in 2015-16.
Yeah. So look, another example. Mumbai FC, he was he scored some goals. Again, he was needed over there. But you take that plunge, not knowing where you will be next season.
4 goals in total.
Yeah. So, see, for me, it's a player's decision even though he did not know that what's going to happen for Mumbai FC, but it's the call, and you make that first step towards getting more game time. It'll go a long way. It's not players like we talked about who's that? Keane Lewis. He is not at his best, but he's in a team which has fame. But he is fighting for his position, even though that the fitness doesn't help him. But there's a comparison between Keane Lewis and Izumi. Both were not in their best form. But what difference does it make to a player when he chooses his own development over wages or fame, and a step? It's a step for his career to move, take a giant leap. And for me,
I think, sorry to interrupt, but I think, I just want to make a point saying that I think comparison between Kane Lewis and Arata would not be fair, because I know on what basis you're making, but one guy, he's a young chap. Okay, that's Kane Lewis, who's starting and who needs a better team, who needs a better... Yes, about game time, perfect point over there. But Arata Izumi could take that risk and take the plunge and go take a step back, because he's done it all. He's seen that all. But he's like, why not take this step and go? Because he didn't get much about with Mumbai FC. So I think that's the point I want to make. Yeah, Chiranjeet, if you had a point.
Yeah, actually, Kane Lewis is somebody who was just trying to make it in Indian football as a young player, and Arata Izumi is over 30, right? And he needed that exposure of Mohun Bagan. Mohun Bagan is the first top division club that he played for, and even though he's been struggling to make his place there in the first team and in the starting lineup, because there is Sony Node out there and playing in the same position he plays in. Playing in Mohun Bagan let him play in AFC Champions League, AFC Cup, a few I-League matches where he caught the attention of Delhi Dynamos, where he played well for them, and he will go on to play for India. Okay, that's where it matters. You want to be in a team like Mohun Bagan because it gives you opportunities that other teams will not give you. So it's completely different. What happened with Arata Izumi is that, he was struggling. He was not at his best. He was not getting much time in Mumbai FC, and he did not really compromise on the wages that much in NEROCA, because that is one of the things I want to talk about. NEROCA FC went out and signed good players with a good money. They are this good. They are this dominant because they spent money behind this team.
Yeah.
Okay, they just outspent everybody. They literally made the best team, and they got Arata Izumi and others. They sat them down and they told them, look, come and play for us this season because you're struggling in the top division anyway. Yeah. But we know you have the talent. We know you have the experience. Help us. We will pay you almost as much as the top division clubs do, and when you get us promoted to the top division, you will get to play in this team. Right. So it was these players went there to save their careers, waning careers, and they got that back, and they didn't really have to take much of a financial hit from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, so it was a win-win situation.
This is something. This is very important, because in second division you don't really see teams spending that much money.
Right.
Okay. Southern Samiti spent that a little bit of money by signing Odafa. Okay. Other teams are replicating this. Mohammedan Sporting, they went and signed Dipanda, who has scored the most number of goals in the top division league.
Yeah.
He's just signed for the second division team. They have signed this guy, Shilton Paul, Mohun Bagan goalkeeper. He's left and gone to Mohammedan Sporting. You just see this wave of second division clubs who are trying to replicate NEROCA's model, that, hey, financially the second division is very weak. Okay, there is no telecast, there's no proper sponsorship structure, there is nothing. That league is semi-amateur, almost to the level of what we see in the local leagues, Calcutta Football League. And it has started to grow since AIFF adopted that home and away match model. Right, so you have matches in Kashmir, you have matches in Manipur, and certain areas where the game is popular and the clubs are making some money from ticket sales. Okay, so now we are seeing finally some second division clubs starting to spend money.
Yeah.
And part of that reason is that everybody has realized that in 2020, there will be a chance that everything will be merged. I-League, ISL will be properly merged, and there will be a chance to directly play in ISL, through promotion relegation.
Okay.
They believe in that, and this is a positive effect of the ISL, that they see money in the future. That's why they're spending it now. And it's also a sign of Indian football really growing, because when you see the lower division getting money into their teams, that's when you know that the options for players are increasing. They can even expect to get good facilities, a good life, even in the lower tier. That's a sign of Indian football growing, and that is the best takeaway.
Yeah.
Manipur football is growing. Mohammedan Sporting is certainly making a revival. Everything is just moving on that direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to make the point what you said, no matter what's happening off the field, then off the pitch, on the pitch, what's happening is really beautiful, and that's what's keeping the Indian football taking ahead. Now let's move ahead with the interview that we're talking about. Now, the reason why I said that this man is, you can call him the head behind the growth of football in Mizoram is because he is the General Secretary of the Mizoram Football Association, and he's also one man who, did all the things right. From the local to the grassroots, from the grassroots to the local, and then seeing to it that the teams at the high level give their best. And now all of what he did, we are seeing the results because Mizoram won the Santosh Trophy. We also saw Aizawl picking up the I-League. Now, Chiranjeev, I would like you to take his name because I don't want to pronounce it wrong. So, Chiranjeev, please introduce his...
Yeah, this is Mr. Tetea Hmar. Sorry, I think I said Hmar wrong. So I think the correct way to pronounce is Tetea Hmar.
Okay.
And he is really a remarkable man in the sense that he came into a state where football was popular, but there was no infrastructure, there was no structure to it.
Right.
And he envisioned that there could be a league that would really resonate with everybody, and it would reach out to everybody and really give a face to Mizoram football. He came up with the Mizoram Premier League, and it's a wonderful product that we can look at. There's a television deal. There are sponsors at the local level working everywhere. The players are getting paid more and more money every season. It's well structured to correspond with the national season. So he's the one who came up with the idea that, hey, let's have first division league championships in every district. There are 8 districts in Mizoram. First division championships in every district, and there are some prominent clubs who are already there in the Mizoram Premier League, and then the district champions get to play in playoffs, and the winner gets to play in the Mizoram Premier League. So there is from district all the way to the top division of the state. There is promotion relegation system. There is floodlight matches that happen at Lamwal, and it gets seen by people all over the state on Zonet. So it's the success of Mizoram Premier League is what spurred everything. The grassroots development and the entire thing, and we heard everything being talked about in the interview that I had with John a couple of episodes back, right? So all of that and more and insights into how things work in Mizoram football can be had in this conversation that I was privileged to have with Mr. Hmar, and
this is a pretty much interesting conversation that everyone should look forward to. So here we go.
So it's been a brilliant few years of journey for you, and you started off with the conception of Mizoram Premier League, and just a few years later you are standing next to the I-League trophy, the Santosh Trophy, and all these silverware. Did you think it was going to happen so soon?
I knew that this will happen. I mean, eventually, but I never believed that it will happen in a couple of years, because when we started the Mizoram Premier League, one of the aims was to produce as many players as possible to play in the I-League. Then number 2 was to have our own team in the I-League. Then ISL FC qualified in the third year of the Mizoram Premier League, and they won the I-League in the 5th year of the Mizoram Premier League. This is something which is beyond our dream, in fact. But yes, our talent-wise and potential, when we speak about the potential and the talent, I honestly believe that we have that to what it takes to become the champions of India. But I never believed that it will come so soon.
So when you first started, it was a big step towards making Mizoram football professional, and it was an overhaul to an extent. So what was the first big challenge that
we could sustain the league, number 1. Even though we have a sponsorship, we have our partners have to spend big. So, there was lots of, talk about whether we will be able to sustain this or not. But when it finally happened, and our other expenditure as well, and we are trying our own system where we could pay back the football clubs in terms of the gate receipt and some kind of, we really have the drive to run this kind of league, because I may have the idea, or 2 or 3 of my friends have that deals, and all these people, they are all very supportive of the league. So this really helps, and then we have a very good media backup as well. This is what we really need.
So Mizoram Premier League tries to reach out to every district, by doing the playoffs and everything, and giving everybody a chance to come straight up. So infrastructure must have been an issue when you were starting. And what was it like to have clubs who were doing their district championships in one kind of infrastructure, coming up, playing in Lamwal? So was there a gap that you had to mitigate somehow?
Yes, there was clearly a gap between the infrastructure which we have here and in the districts. Yeah. When we started, we only have one artificial turf that was at Lamwal. Yeah. But after that, the government is proactive when it comes to building football infrastructure. They've built one at Rajiv Gandhi, of course, then another one at Lunglei, and then we have at Champai also another turf coming up. But the problem was there was a huge gap between the capital city and the rest of the villages and towns. So for them, but it worked positively at Lamwal from what they have experienced in the rest of the grounds. Even though we have the Rajiv Gandhi Stadium now, but people still speak about Lamwal.
Yeah, there's a tournament going on there right now, right? Challenge. Yeah. Right, ISL FC did it. Chanmari FC are also doing it. Do you see more clubs from Mizoram Premier League trying their hand at the national stage in the near future?
See, after ISL FC won the I-League, everybody is talking big about Mizoram football, but we have to talk about the reality, because in reality we are not that professionally structured at all the levels. ISL FC and Chanmari may be able to do that, but not all the Mizoram Premier League clubs, because they are running on a shoestring budget. It's all a community. Most of the clubs are community-based team. It's the community contributing for the cost outside Mizoram. Then what I feel is this very the success of the ISL FC, it's kind of grabbing the whole nation, the media and everybody, like Mizoram is a magic state. In reality, it's not, because, in football, anything can happen. That doesn't mean that we are the best in the country. We have to stay humble, because, we have to be grounded, because it's not something which will happen every year. We would like to repeat it again, but for that we have to start from the grassroots and back to the sub-juniors and the juniors. This we will slowly build on it. Then success is not guaranteed. Even we are working, it's
here. And do you think it will you will be able to provide coaches? We just saw an A-license coach here. There will be experienced coaches provided in every single lesson center.
See, this is what we are working on. We run into agreement with the Tata Trust to train all the grassroots trainers. At least to go for the D license course. The ones who are good enough for the C license, they will go for the C license again. I mean, now the challenge is to produce as many, licensed coaches as possible from the state. The problem now is that we have the players, but we don't have we don't have the coaches. We have the players, we have the talent, but we don't have good referees. So these are the two areas in which we really need to work. And we are still far below, behind our neighboring states, Manipur, when it comes to refereeing and coaching. We have to start building on all these areas. These are the areas which was, which was neglected all those years. So we have to build now.
Okay, so the Rajiv Gandhi Stadium will obviously...
See, it's the government's call, so I can't comment on that. It's up to the government. Yes, obviously the government, this is one of the most, football-friendly government, maybe the most in the country, because you look at the budget of the Mizoram sports and look at how many grounds they've already built. So, even though they don't have big budget to build the stadium, but I'm very hopeful that they will be able to upgrade the existing ones.
So, going back to, there are artificial turfs being built all around the state, but we don't really see many natural grass turfs. Is there a particular reason for that, and are there plans to build ones in the future?
I don't know about the plan of the future, but when it comes to natural grass, Mizoram is one area in which the grasses are not growing naturally. So, but any kind of plan to build a natural turf stadium, but I do believe that with the kind of growth we have witness in football, this has to be artificial turf. We have only the clay and the mud pitches, which is not really suitable for this kind of national level tournament. To build natural grass is a problem in Mizoram. Yes, funding is one. Number two is the climatic condition, and number three is non-availability of the pitches. Because if you build a natural grass ground, you have to keep it strictly for the official matches, because now the pitches are all, it's like 24/7. Apart from Rajiv Gandhi, we are trying our best to stop the non-official football matches going on. But we have to keep this ready for the Mizoram Premier League clubs to practice. Okay. So every day from morning, we are opening up for the Mizoram Premier League. Now we are about to start the new season from June next, early July. We will plan it. Then end of July, we will start the Independence Day Cup, where we are inviting teams from outside. We have 3-4 clubs, teams, not really clubs, some army team, 1-2.
Okay. So, sir, are you following the president is meeting the sports minister? What's your take on that?
Football is decided by the federation, so it has to be decided by the federation anyway. The government, obviously, I want, now for Mizoram, it's best if we can maintain the status quo, or keep it as it was.
But what if ISL becomes a top division? That would
that I can't comment on that, because I am not in position to comment that.
Okay, sir. Thank you for talking to us, sir.
Well, now that was a great conversation, Chiranjit, and it's always good to know, because we know exactly people from there are talking about breaking it down, rather than an outsider going there and giving us a story. The people who
I think one thing that you really need to take away is that he said a very important thing, that Mizoram is not a magical place where everything about football just flourishes. It's a very delicate balance that they have to mention, and a structure that they have to observe, and it needs tending, and there are lots of people like him who are working behind the scenes to keep it standing and keep it growing, and Indian football is benefiting because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. We are seeing the results any which way. We've only seen the end result. What happens if you do really take interest and build Indian football. Now, I hope you enjoy the show and the conversation as well. That's all we had for today's show. If you're listening to our show on YouTube, hit the like, share, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon to get updates of our new episode. You can also listen to our show on Audioboom, SoundCloud, iTunes, and various other podcasting apps. You can also talk to us directly on Twitter, Boza_Kevin, Chiranjit Oja, Matthew94. Have a great day, folks. Enjoy. Cheers.
एक्सक्यूज मी भैया, एक्सक्यूज मी।
बोलिए मैडम।
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, टिंग्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर सकरबर्ग है और द फैन गराज है। आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम, आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप, सब आपकी उंगलियों पे।